everything is sore, and my neck is sunburned.
See, we have to record.
Why? I tell you, okay, you can record. I'll give you my thoughts, right? So what I did for the past 3 days was help my family run an event. It was a license deal with Hasbro. So Hasbro has licensing rights, right? That it gives to various things you want to do. So we did a fun run, which is a family oriented 5 kilometer run. So we set up the event in a
it's an actual running event.
Yes. It's not really run. Everyone walked because they were bringing children, right?
It's kids.
Yeah, but there were some parents that would just run ahead, and have the kids
and
walk
leave their
by
kids
themselves.
behind.
No, I mean
Really?
they come in a bigger group. So one person would walk the kids, and the rest would run forward.
Okay.
So there's always those kinds, right? And there are even some, they're professionals that don't have kids, come in like they are super attire, and they're the first like to the finish
5K.
way ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So what I learned from this is this, right? Physical events are very, very tough. Like we handled eight deliveries of trucks yesterday. 8 lorries came by to unload. So we had all the tents, the awnings, the stage, the structures, the merchandise, the inventory, and man, like it took a lot of people to set up, man. Like 20 people on our side, and another 40 people on the volunteers and the stage side.
Well, hold on. Can we go back to? Well, maybe give more context. Like, why does your family work with Hasbro? What's the context of this? And then how did this specific idea of the event come about?
That's interesting. So my sister has a real estate company. So before the pandemic, they built a hotel in Bukit Bintang, which is like 98% complete. And
Which
the
is
idea,
like downtown KL for
right in the city center. And the idea for that hotel was to have a Monopoly theme Art Deco hotel. So
we're okay to tell the public this, right?
No. Of course. So we worked a deal with Hasbro to get the licensing rights for that. But unfortunately, the pandemic came and that project never really got off the ground or wasn't completed. So from that relationship, right, we sell toys for Hasbro, and we also think of other ways we can use their brand, right, to
The
do
IP.
To do this is called a certain category. They are called LBS, location based licensing. Yeah.
Okay, so then you have this historical relationship. Like, who came up with the idea to approach Hasbro? Is there anyone else doing this kind of model in the region? Or, I mean, it must be common, right? Or is it not common?
I think they commonly partner with like the known hotel brands, right? But IP brands such as Hasbro, they're more open to any kind of collaboration.
Actually, this reminds me of, I think it's called Century Property Group in Philippines. Mm-hmm. They're one of the top developers in Philippines. And I met one of their sons, Robbie Antonio. He actually's been WhatsApping me. I haven't responded to him. Sorry, Robbie, if you're hearing this. But that was his whole shtick, though. Like, he knows like the Trump family. He knows like celebrities. So maybe it's a different market in Philippines, but that family had a lot of branded residents around. You partner with a brand name, then you build a property around it. I talked, like, one of my old bosses did also property development in Malaysia, but he said that kind of thing just didn't work in Malaysia. What do you think? Would it work here, or maybe property is the wrong way to go about it? Maybe it's more like event-based, kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think events makes a lot of sense. If the shop, I mean, would you rather have an unbranded event or unbranded property than something that's a bit branded? If you yourself don't have a brand, right? If you're a branded developer, you might not want to collaborate, right? But if you're a small developer, you want to differentiate your product versus other people, then you might want to collaborate. But collaboration also, must be realistic, right? Does it make sense for property? In the hotel sense, it's themed to Monopoly, but it's not really like a Monopoly game. I mean, it uses Monopoly characters and motifs, right? And it's set in an Art Deco kind of format. So it kind of worked. It looked nice.
Yeah, but...
and then there are theme parks. Theme parks are property.
The theme parks make sense, I think, right? That makes sense as a model because that's a well-known model. But the problem is, like, it depends on the size of your market and like who actually is willing to pay for branded properties. And then my understanding of the Malaysian market is like for a premium, they would just rather get something cheaper, more space maybe,
Actually,
and they don't care if it's
the
branded.
licensing cost doesn't make a big percent of the price of a property. I mean, it might be just like an additional 1,000 per unit.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to do that like with their new property development Conlay as well.
Hey,
So they're
Conley.
trying to innovate that. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
trying to innovate that, and it was branded, but more on an adult level, I guess, more like fancy design, luxury brand person.
Yeah,
that
they
worked with.
got a very famous interior designer to design
Yeah.
all the interiors, but that costs a bomb.
Yeah.
Because interior designer markups, right, are probably like
Yeah.
what, maybe 300,000-400,000 extra.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that, I mean, that's like really pushing the limit of property development to see if there's a willing market, and that's quite a big risk for something as heavy, capex heavy as like, property development, right? So, but then let's talk more about your events then. So you came this idea, was this coming from the Hasbro side, or you pitch it to Hasbro? How do you guys collaborate with Hasbro? How do you manifest it?
We pitched it to Hasbro. I didn't think
Okay.
from the start that it's going to be worth our time because it's not something that can make a lot of money, and me and my
I
other
thought
sister.
events are very successful though, right? Like
No,
all
it
the
has to be a certain
runs.
scale. Like if you do a
Yeah.
run that can get like around 10,000 people, right? Then it's something worthwhile.
But most of the runs in KL are not like 10,000. They're probably in the thousands, right? Or
Oh
hundreds.
no, you can get 10,000 plus. The big runs like the Standard Chartered run or
Oh
the
yeah,
KL run.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
but they have a lot of smaller runs, right?
yeah, and those barely make money unless like you keep your costs really really low.
I think they do, because especially like the locations where they do it, and
Yeah.
it's just like really, you have a really core, target audience that really is rabid about health or running, and they want different experiences, and they check their schedules and if it's open. So I think there's room, yeah. But like, will it be big? And it's a
Yeah.
question of like, is it worth your time? So
Yeah, because if you want to work with Hasbro, right, you got to pitch them
Yeah.
how it's going to be like, how the brand will be used. And
Well, it's a lot of
obviously,
work,
it
yeah.
has to be, a bit eye-popping, right?
Yeah, correct.
So we had so many, different cutouts and printouts of all the theming. We had the games
Yeah.
theme around, like My Little Pony. We have
Yeah.
actual hay bales all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a huge stage, a colorful rainbow with ponies. We decorated like an archway, a grand float,
Yeah.
and there's like a magical ribbon tree in inside their park. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously it looks good. Then they'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
you can use the brand. Yeah. But then we've got to execute it. All this is cost.
Yeah, correct. So, I mean, the first thought is like, this is a really good experience. What if LOB wants to do a conference? You gonna help set it up for us?
I don't know what your theme is.
Barbarians at the gate. No, but like, so then walk me through it. Was it worth it? Like, what was the process? What was the effort? Could you like maybe at scale hire more people who are more operationally focused so that's easier for you? Like, what are you,
I
what are
mean,
you
no,
thinking?
man. Like if you're the main guy behind it, we're a small company, so you got to be on the ground, And you're on the ground for 4 days, 3 days, right? From
Yeah.
morning till night.
Yeah, I saw the pictures you sent me.
Yeah,
That's
it's
intense.
very tiring. It's like, my it's just me and my two sisters, right, that were handling it.
Yeah.
And
And
oh
coordinating everyone. Set
yeah,
up,
yeah.
Stress.
And the heat, the sun. Oh my God, the sun.
Well, this is a problem with Southeast Asia. It's not fun to do this.
Yeah, so I
weather.
told I think we're strongly leaning towards an indoor event for the next one.
Yeah.
Because our
Yeah, that makes
deal,
sense.
we could host 6 licensed events with the IP.
So what does that mean? Like, you structure that on the first pitch, or this is like
No, on the first pitch, then we signed an agreement, with 6
okay, so
number
it's within the
IPs.
agreement you made.
Yeah.
So then you have like 5-6 more events to do this year.
that we can do. Yeah.
Okay, so then the goal is to. Well, I mean, it's a good test run, don't you think? I mean, how big was it? Like, how many people?
Well, there's improvement, right? Like this is the second
Yeah,
one.
correct.
From the first
Oh, it's the
one to the
second one.
second one, there's like a 200% growth.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at
because
each
also you're
venue,
building on the branding.
The first one is in Johor. This one's in KL. So obviously, there's a different scale to it, right?
You already did Johor already, or
Yeah. That was 2 months ago.
okay? But were you helping with that, or
No. It was too far to
Okay.
help. So that one we outsourced to another event company.
okay? So that's more like learning, probably.
Yeah, we are
then-
learning along the way, but it doesn't change the fact that events are bloody tedious.
That's true. It's true.
And that's the
but
thing
I mean,
with the
I think it's
that's the thing with the offline world. It's very different from
Yeah.
the online world.
Yeah, but it's different kind of hard, right? I feel like it's a bit more tangible, and then you can actually interact with your customers, right? You actually can learn in a different way, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah, this is like a big reality dose. This is like the real world dose. This is not like, something in the office, or finance, right? Or tech. Yeah. It is
Well, if you
purely
get enough,
physical.
yeah, if you get enough experience doing the physical, you would know how to replicate that on VR in the future. Then you could, do VR events instead, maybe.
That's just tech, right? A VR event is just
Yeah.
sitting in the office designing things.
So how are you thinking about the next project then, injecting tech? Or because it feels like you have a lot of experience where you could actually bring it to, like, use data, collect data, use other technologies to make it better, to make the physical experience better. Is there any type of integration you're seeing, or is it all still manual, old school, or how do you
No,
iterate?
I don't think there's much tech that can help. I mean,
Well,
what were
think
you
about it.
talking
Like
about?
you,
Like
you, you.
most of the design is already on software, right?
Mm,
I don't know. I think VR experiences are still quite disappointing, right? And it costs a lot to do
yeah.
anyways. If you're going to be physical, you might as well be physical.
Or AR. You know, AR. You could do it.
Um, yeah, we thought
You show
about
up to the
that.
event.
We thought about that. Like instead of like having a real Monopoly, you know, sculpture, right? Like a pony
Yeah.
sculpture. Why not just point a phone over there, and they'll show you the
Yeah.
pony? I think it's a very different experience.
Yeah, it's different. You have to think
Yeah.
about it.
It'll
But
be very
what I
lame.
meant,
It'll be very lame.
well, for now,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, when
if you go
everyone
to,
has
like,
the Oculus Rift side, right? And then maybe things would change.
yeah. But I was thinking more like on the infrastructure side, or maybe like cultivating an audience, targeting an audience, because like if you keep doing events, you might have people who want to keep going to the events if they're the target audience, right?
Well, I think one thing's changed, right? Like I would say previous events, people spend a lot more time Instagramming it.
Okay.
Maybe now not so much. So in terms of
TikTok?
like, if we look at our social media coverage of this event, right? I
Yeah.
think it's a very different world from 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, maybe people don't post what they do, where they are as much anymore.
No, it's more instantaneous though. They'll take stories, snaps, TikTok reels. I'm not the wrong person to be.
I don't
talking
know,
about this, but
like the feel I have is like, I think it's happening a lot less than a few years back.
well, if anything, it's better venue format if you introduce like live streamers. Like those guys who are on Twitch, like they come up and they show the experience, and then people are experiencing it through them. Then you get reach and scale for more people want to come.
Let me expand my thought a bit, okay?
Yeah.
Like, remember when we first started Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay? Most of the posts that we'll see, right, and the reels that we see are content from our social network, our people. They're like, you and me posting stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's just more and more, we're looking at things that are posted by creators.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a definite shift. So the people that attend this run are not creators. They are just normal people, regular people. And they don't post as much as they did, 4 or 5 years ago, I'll say.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's the consumer behavior. You get less network effect.
Yes,
by layering
exactly.
social media into a physical one. But if that's the case, you just have to follow where the distribution is, right? And that's, like I said, like live streamers. You invite content creators.
Creators.
Like for if your main engine of value is the ticketing, people being there, and then the marketing widens your funnel, well, then you just got to engage those people to kind of get it out there. But again, that's a lot of, it's like kind of tied what we talked about the last episode, which is then you have to start being very content heavy, right? You have to be like, I think marketing is shifting where you need to have a content muscle and to develop it, right? So if you don't have that, then it's hard to
it's
be
very hard
relevant anymore to get distribution.
To get advertised and distributed.
Correct. So I guess it's something for the next iteration is like, well, I don't know, like how do you think about optimizing the next platform? Like what is of course you want to grow bigger, you want more revenue, you want more people participating, better experience, even you want repeat customers, something like this. What is how do you think about what's the main focus or goal for the next one to achieve on the next event you're doing? Because by 6, you want to be very big, right?
Yeah.
So.
I think we got to keep I think I gotta go compile all the videos and photos that were generated in this event, and then make it into a proper short video, right? For sharing on Instagram and TikTok.
Something easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep the lead on that, hey, this is a company that has done this event, looks good. The upcoming one
Yeah.
is like, gonna look like this. And try to make a lot of iterations of these short videos, right? And have it like, posted and hopefully one of it picks up and goes a bit viral.
Well, then how do you think about which, like, so in the agreement, is there specific IP you have to hit or like you pitched for and they allow you to use, or like, because this one was My Little Pony this past weekend, right? So then what's the next IP?
Them. Every event, do the pitch.
Oh, every event. Okay.
Go back and forth.
Okay, so
they'll correct what they don't like.
Yeah,
they can correct what they don't like. They give suggestions on maybe something might be a better idea. Then after that's approved, right? The visuals and concepts approved, and then they're okay to have us host the event.
It seems. I mean, but there's like so much IP under Hasbro. So how are you choosing what's next? Is it like trending,
you can like the IP. I went to Hasbro in Providence before, right? They have a whole building there, and it's just all IP. Every brand has its own team, right? The brand leader, They have a whole history behind every brand. All the assets are there. I guess just they know what they're doing. So once you tell them the concept, right? They'll just like send you all the potential visuals and IP that you can use, so you can just work on that.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so let me be more clear. Why did you choose My Little Pony for this one, and then what's the next one?
Well, My Little Pony is for the fun run, right? Because we wanted to do something family friendly. So this IP suits this market the best.
Yeah.
But
for
even
family,
then, this brand isn't as strong as 3-4 years ago too.
My Little Pony,
Yeah, it was a lot stronger, maybe 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because they stopped airing new episodes. Like it's been almost 2.5 years without a new season.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit different, because you got to understand, like, they used to watch My Little Pony on TV, and then on satellite TV, and then on YouTube, and then now now you can't really get full episodes very easily anymore.
Well, there's also a huge amount of competition on your media consumption opportunity horizon, right? Like there's only so much you can consume within a day, and then between YouTube, Netflix, TV, whatever, but then each of those channels itself just has so much content, right? So it's very hard to be relevant. I guess that factors into what you would choose next, then, right? Is that how you think about it? Like, so for your next event, you're going to try to look at like what is more trending or more popular or more relevant, then go for the pitch.
Next one might be Transformers.
That's still relevant, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think that
Hollywood's
still
making content,
people's mind.
Toys, yeah.
It's quite recent. Most people know it, but I think it has to be indoor, man. Like, we don't want to do outdoor event anymore. It's too tough.
In Southeast Asia is way too tough, man.
Yeah, make it indoor. Hot. It's more convenient. I think convenience is always convenience is up there in terms of quality. It's a whole quality on its own. Convenience.
I mean, yeah, for people, because people are inherently lazy, but also for sustainability of you wanting to do this. I mean, unless there's this huge outdoors event that makes too much money, then you'll have to do it, I guess. But if not, you're not going to want to do this in the long run. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it, right? Like, so tired.